NFL's most dynamic performers. 16 touchdowns in only 5 games. Brett Favre is off to a sensational beginning. Today, he looks to continue his dominance in one of football's premier rivalries. The spotlight is in the Windy City as the Bears await the Packers in this always intense NFC Central battle. Soldier Field in Chicago, and the oldest rivalry in the history of the NFL, the Packers and the Bears. And when you think about those two, you think about snowstorms and ice and snow and bad weather. But today we've been blessed with just a perfect day, warm in fact. I'm Pat Summerall here with John Madden. And John, the Packers finished last year on a high note, beating San Francisco, then losing in the championship game. That's not necessarily a high note, but they've gotten off to a great start this year. And my question to you is the better team than they were last year?
Yeah, I think so. And, you know, we know about their offense. We know Brett Favre, he's thrown 16 touchdown passes already, and maybe the hottest quarterback in the NFL. But where I think the Green Bay Packers really helped themselves was on defense. And they got Santana Dotson in there now, and he's playing defensive tackle, and he's giving them a push in the middle. And then, you know, you have Reggie White coming from one side, Sean Jones coming from the other side. And they're getting a lot of pressure. And as a result of that pressure, they already have 22 turnovers. So they not only make things happen on offense, which we know, but now they're making a lot of things happen on defense.
Do the Bears, the home team, in this long-lasting rivalry, do the Bears have a legitimate chance against this juggernaut?
Yeah, only that, you know, anyone has a chance anytime you play. And as you say, this is a great rivalry. I mean, you're talking here the Green Bay Packers and Chicago Bears, and anything can happen, and you better be ready to play and all those things. But I think what the Chicago Bears have to do is they can't give up turnovers. They have to get turnovers. They have to make big plays. In fact, Dave Wannstedt was saying that he needs big plays from Bobby Ingram today and from Curtis Conway. These are going to be his big play guys. And again, they probably need a little luck because, to be honest with you, the Green Bay Packers are a lot better team than the Chicago Bears.
Should be very interesting. Coming up, it's the Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bears from Soldier Field. Don and I'll be back for the opening kickoff when Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages from your local station. Ready to kick it off between the Packers and the Bears. Jeff Jager is number 1. Beebe and Dorsey Levens back deep. Special teams player of the week. He beat his old team, the Raiders, last week in the last second. It's going to be Beebe. Drops it. Back into the end zone, and there he will down it. And let's have a look at the Green Bay offensive unit led by their spectacular quarterback, Brett Favre. 16 touchdown passes. John Michaels, Aaron Taylor, Winters, Timmerman, and Earl Dotson in front of Favre. Edgar Bennett and William Henderson, the 2 runners, Antonio Freeman, Robert Brooks, and the tight end is Mark Shimura. Brooks, who had a concussion on the first play of the game last week against Seattle, flanks out wide to the right. Favre, the quarterback, from the 20, will throw. Incomplete. Henderson, the intended receiver, pressure early from the Bears. Let's look at the Bear defense. Spellman, Simpson, Grassmanis, and Theory start up front. The 3 linebackers, Kane, Cox, and Smith. In the secondary, it's James Burton, Carrier, Carter, and Donnell Wolford. 2nd and 10, Green Bay at their own 20. Favre gets away from 1, gets away from 2, a flag on the play. Alonzo Spellman took him down, but a penalty marker down way back behind the line of scrimmage.
I'll tell you, there was some movement, I think, before the ball was snapped, Pat, because it was either on the offense or the defense, but that Bear defensive line sure got off the line quickly.
Johnny Greer, the referee. Face mask. against the Bears.
Well, and then I think they called a face mask against the Packers, too, didn't they?
I think they did.
There's the one. Theory
Face
got the one.
Defense. Still second down.
Well, they didn't call it against the Packers. It was just John Theory. He's number 94 right here. And you see what happened. He went by Earl Dotson. Earl Dotson, the right tackle, didn't even get out of his stance. I said that Bear defensive line looked like they took off quickly. That's why they took off so quickly.
Spellman was hurt on the play. That's he, number 90.
Now this has to be, you watch here how they don't even move in their stances here. This had to be where the ball was snapped. The center snapped the ball on a different count than the offensive line had.
Look at Dotson. He's still in his stance.
Oh, yeah, he's staying right here. He's not going to move. He's not going to be the guy that moved. So you'd have to say it was the center, Frank Winters.
Reeves has replaced Spellman at right defensive end. Second down. Handoff to Edgar Bennett, and there's nothing doing. This Bear defense is fired up. Brian Cox led the charge.
You know, and I've always thought that if you're playing a big game, you're playing a rivalry game like this where the intensity is so high, the emotions are so high, if you had your choice, you would always rather start on defense. And I think just watch these guys, the way they fly around the ball. I mean, they got the 3 linebackers stacked. They have that speed on defense. And watch, after the first guy, just grab them and hold them up, and boom, boom, boom. And about 5 guys come right after the first guy gets them.
Spellman is back for the Bears on defense. The Packers operate with 4 wide receivers. Favre has some time. That's going to be out of bounds. Beebe made the catch. And the Packers will have to punt.
That's what I was saying. I think in a big game like this where you're an underdog, you're playing a rival, you're playing the Green Bay Packers, you're the Chicago Bears, you want to take that emotion, put it on your kickoff team, then put it on your defensive team.
Craig Hentrick will punt for Green Bay. Bobby Ingram back deep for the Bears. Ingram down as soon as he caught it. Travis Jervey with a good coverage was there first. 39-yard punt, no return. So the Bears improved their field position considerably the first time they go on defense. The Packers can't move it. Bears 1st and 10. Dave Craig is their quarterback. Whitnight is the move man, and Craig is back to throw. Has time, swings it outside. Salam makes the catch, picks up 2 or 3. George Kuntz out to make the stop. Here's the Bear offensive lineup. Craig, the quarterback, the veteran, who spent so many years with Seattle, then Kansas City, then Detroit, then Arizona. In front of him, Andy Heck, Perry Fontenot. Very good offensive line. Salam and Tony Carter, the 2 runners. 2nd and 8. Salam hit in the backfield. George Kuntz knocks Salam backwards. And let's look at that improved Packer defense that John Madden was talking about earlier. Sean Jones, Brown, Dotson, and Reggie White. Brian Williams, George Kuntz, who just made that play, and Wayne Simmons in the secondary, a good one. Evans, Robinson, Butler, and Newsom. All of them playing well. 3rd and 10. 3 wide receivers for the Bears. Craig to throw. Complete up the middle of Conway. Conway will get a Bear first down or very close to it. May or may not have it.
I think we were at practice yesterday. Dave Wanstead came over and says that we have to get some big plays, and the guy that's going to get us a big play is Curtis Conway. He said we have some plays in for him to make big plays for us. The other guy is Bobby Ingram. But if we're going to get any big plays, they have to get them for us. This one here is short. They're going to come up with 4th down. They're going to ask for a measurement, I think. And it's going to be interesting to see what Dave Wanstead does here. I think
indications are he's going to go for it.
And I think you have to. I think, you know, they're at midfield. They're an underdog. You have to make things happen when you get an opportunity. And this field position and this position right here is a good opportunity for the Bears. You look, it's going to be 4th and just inches. Johnny Greer just showed that it's about 6 inches to go, and this is quarterback sneak territory. I mean, all you have to do, Dave Craig just has to take the ball and just kind of fall forward, and you're going to get a first down. Look at this.
That looks like longer than just that.
Well, I mean, he showed that to the crowd, and then, as you said, it is a little longer. With the distance Johnny Greer showed with his hands, and the distance that thing showed there is a little longer, but I still think this is a quarterback sneak play.
That's 4th and a lot of inches.
Yeah, and if you just find you get in there behind, Dave Craig just gets in there. He's looking right now to see where the soft spot is going to be. Uh-oh, he doesn't have the right formation.
That would indicate it's not going to be a quarterback sneak.
He's trying to draw him off sides. Well, they're going to take the penalty and punt. Yeah, that's what they were trying to do. Is they were trying to get the Green Bay Packers to jump off sides and get a free first down. They weren't going to run a quarterback sneak or any other play, so that was why he tried to do that thing with motion. Then he tried to do the thing with a hard count. Then he tried to do the thing with the long count, and it didn't work. They'll take the 5-yard penalty and punt. That was excellent discipline by the Green Bay Packer defense.
The NFC's leading punter, Todd Sauerbrunn. Good kick. Desmond Howard lets it bounce. It goes into the end zone, and the Packers, for the second time, will start from their own 20 with a 1st and 10, a 55-yard punt.
Let's watch and listen to what a 17-year veteran quarterback in the NFL does to draw the defense off sides. Watch all these tricks. Dave Craig tried everything on that one. He had his foot going. He was wobbling back and forth. He was giving them hard count. Although I still think the Bears should have gone for it on that 4th down.
Far to throw. Pass complete.
Because when you're playing a team like the Green Bay Packers and a team with this offense that is going to score some points, you know you can't get in a shootout with them. So whenever you get a field position opportunity and you're going to take a gamble or a chance, I think you have to do it.
That pass caught by Antonio Freeman from Brett Favre, timed well.
Yeah, and then, you know, Brett Favre, once he sees Antonio Freeman turn like that, that ball is just drilled in there. That's a frozen rope.
Got to catch it to keep from getting hurt. Dorsey Levens. Stopped by Burton after he picked up good yardage.
You know, Mike Holmgren, the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, of course, calls all the plays. And he says he always has to discipline himself and remind himself to call running plays. If not, he would just call a passing play, I think, every down.
John Michaels.
Yeah, and that's if the Packers have any area of weakness, it's that offensive line, I think, in general, and specifically the left tackle. Ken Rutgers, of course, is out. John Michaels, he was their #1 draft choice last year, the rookie, and you just see his leg just collapsed on that play.
He had a bad leg going in.
Yeah, you see him. He's right here, number 77. You see it right there. He got that knee.
Gary Brown set to come in. He had been playing left tackle until a couple of weeks ago. Had his problems as well.
Yeah, well, he had his problem. We saw him in preseason against the Indianapolis Colts having his problems.
Nothing score. 10:09 left to play in the first quarter at Soldier Field. 2nd and 3. Favre back to throw. Pass is picked off. Looked as if it were complete. Marty Carter came up with the ball. It looked complete for a moment, and all of a sudden Carter came out with it.
And that wasn't a Brett Favre interception.
No.
Because as you say, that did look complete. That was good defense by Marty Carter. You just watch. Carter is right in here. He's right in there. He's behind, and Brooks. The ball bounces out of Brooks's hands, and Carter was really covering the other guy or the other area, and then he just came over there, and boom, the ball bounced right into his hands.
So the Bears get what they hoped for, a turnover.
And that's what they needed. I mean, you know, if there's any way that they're going to be in this game against the Packers, they have to get the turnovers instead of giving the turnovers.
Craig gives to Salam, and there is nothing there. Brian Williams.
Well, remember what Dave Wanstead told us yesterday? He said, I'll tell you one thing. He said, we're going to run the ball against these guys, and early it's going to be ugly. He said, but I know that today, and I'm going to know that tomorrow, but we're going to stick with it. He said, because in the first quarter, he said, you are going to see some ugly runs, and he was right.
That one was ugly.
And they had another ugly one. Remember in that first drive when George Kuntz got in there and
Neither
stopped
one of the two runs have made it back to the line of scrimmage yet.
That is ugly.
Salam, this one looks better. Wanstead also said that Rashaan Salam was about 90%, not 100% healthy.
And he says the same thing, and he's going to run right in this area here. Here's Andy Heck here who's going to give him a block. Todd Perry right here. You see, they get the double team. They pick off a slant. They get the O guard pulling, and they make a good hole there. What they did, what Andy Heck and Todd Perry did, is they caught the Packers in a slant, and they just took them the way they were slanting, and then Salam ran right off it.
3rd and 2. Salam deep. He gets the carry. Close to a first down. Sean Jones made the stop. It's about the same situation we had when first time they had the ball. Close to a first down.
And then you see this time here, I think they're going to go for it. I mean, last time, I thought they should have gone for it last time. This time, I think they should go for it again. Last time, they just tried to draw them off sides, and I would bet this time they're going to run a play.
A quarterback sneak?
I think so. I mean, this is a quarterback sneak play. I don't think you'd hand it to a guy who's 7 yards deep.
2 tight ends. Great quarterback sneak. I don't know if he's done that. Yeah, with the second nudge, he made it.
Yeah, I mean, when you only have that, when you only have a few inches, unless you go backwards or the ball fumbles or something, they're going to give you a first down on that. Big guy like Dave Craig, in 2 weeks he's going to be 38 years old. Been in this league for 17 years. Now what he's doing is he's just looking for a soft spot right now. Then he's just going to put his head down, and he decides that the soft spot was on the right, and he kept those legs driving, and right at the end, he got a little push.
With that second push, he got the first down.
And he got a little extra push from his right guard, Chris Valeria.
Pass is complete to Timpson for a gain of about 5. Doug Evans covered it well, but not much you can do about that.
Yeah, we've been watching Dave Craig over the years at Seattle and Kansas City and Detroit and Arizona. And I'll tell you one thing, this guy is a streak passer, and when he gets hot,
oh boy,
I mean, he can reel off like, 10 for 10 or 12 for 12. He can do that, and he can still do it.
Salah breaks into the Packers secondary and hammers down inside the 15 to about the 14. Stopped finally by Brian Williams. A gain of 13.
Now they try the right side this time. Here again, good blocking on this side. We saw earlier where we had good blocking on the left side. Here we have good blocking on the right side. Big Cat Williams, you see him. He had Reggie White. Just held Reggie enough so that Salam could get through that hole. Again, and there's no way at the end of the play that Salam is going to fumble either.
On first down, Craig again to Salam. A yard perhaps. Santana Dotson and George Kuntz made the stop.
And this is the type of offense that Dave Wanstead wants. You know, the type of thing where he can get the running game going, because then he knows if he can get the running game going, he can control the ball. Then if he has to pass, the pass rush will be calmed down. He can go some play pass and just keep control of everything. When you have to go pass all the time, you have control of nothing.
Second down. Conway goes in motion. Craig gets to Salam. Covered up with both hands and got perhaps two. Wayne Simmons.
They're running right at Reggie White now, and James Williams, Big Cat Williams, is doing a pretty good job on it.
Yes, he is.
Reggie White's not sure if he wants to get, you know, whether he wants to get up the field or not. And you see now, anytime Salam carries the ball, because you know that he's had a history of fumbling, that every time he goes through there, everyone is going to try and grab and strip and knock that ball out of there like we just saw.
3rd and 8. Craig to throw. Going deep. Bear incomplete. Incomplete. And who came down with the ball? Wayne Simmons came down with the ball. It's an interception.
That's a heck of a play by Wayne Simmons. You just watch him. He's the left linebacker out there. Craig has excellent pass protection. He throws the ball up there. Simmons didn't see it until right at the end, and he just grabbed it. In fact, the first time, I thought they started to signal touchdown.
I thought both hands were going up in the beginning.
Yeah, he started to do that. And then Simmons just takes the ball right away from Ryan Wetnight.
That looks like the same play we saw at RFK last week. Keyshawn Johnson's touchdown catch taken away by Carter, just like that. 0-0 first quarter. 0-0 score as the Packers dodge a Bear bullet. Looked touchdown for a moment, and then it wound up with an interception, and the Packers have the ball at the 20.
That was great coverage by Wayne Simmons, because he was on Ryan Wetnight, the tight end, and he covered him man-to-man all the way and intercepted the pass.
Edgar Bennett gets a couple. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Pat, Detroit's first offensive touchdown in the first quarter. 2-yard quarterback sneak by Scott Mitchell. First this season. They lead it by a touch. Back to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
2nd and 8, Green Bay at their own 22. No score here at Soldier Field. Favre back to throw. Outside of Brooks. Pass complete. First down. Donnell Wolford.
Now you see Robert Brooks there. We were talking earlier about how he's wearing a mouthpiece today, and last week he got knocked out on the first play of the game, and he didn't have a mouthpiece. He got hit right on the jaw. They said that it was a thing that went up the jaw and hit, you know, the nerves on the top of the jaw. So what they did is they made this mouthpiece for him and put this special thing back here for the back of his teeth to protect that jarring of the jaw in case he were to get hit in the jaw again.
On both sides.
You know, that's a thing like a fighter gets, you know, where he gets hit in the jaw and then it goes right up the jaw to above there by the ears. That's what happened to him.
Pressured. Works out of it for a moment. And now it's taken down by Benson Smith.
Yeah, that's one thing about a Dave Wanstead defense, and it's the old thing. You know, they play 3 linebackers. They have their linebackers back here, and they all have good speed. So anytime that a quarterback starts to run, they always have a guy, a linebacker or defensive lineman, that can catch the quarterback and tackle him.
And if you catch Brett Favre, you've done well.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, they have that speed where they can get that burst and go get him.
Second. Handoff to Bennett. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be Kane made the top. It's going to be about 3rd and 10.
Yeah, I think that Kane and Brian Cox were both stunning there. They had a, you know, sometimes you have blitzes for passing and sometimes you have them for run, but they ran kind of a cross blitz right here, right at the hole. Now this is not a pass blitz, this is a blitz for the run, and they had the perfect defensive call.
4 wide receivers for the Packers. Favre gets it to Brooks. And Brooks gets out of bounds at midfield. First down, Green Bay. Barry Minter took him out of bounds.
I think even though the Packers go 4 wide receivers, you know that when Brett Favre needs a big play and on 3rd down he needs a big play, this is the guy that he's going to look for, Robert Brooks.
18-yard gain.
I mean, what a player this guy is. I mean, he's a tough guy. He knows how to run patterns, catch a ball, get open. I'll tell you, that is a perfect pass. I mean, you don't pass it where the guy was, you pass it where he's going. And that's what Favre did.
There were years when Favre would have drilled that pass. And that time he just laid it up there. Bennett, right side for a yard or 2. You know, the Bears so far have done what they wanted to do. That was sort of keep the ball away from this Green Bay offense.
Yeah, but they didn't get the points. I mean,
Right.
even, you know, they had that interception down there, but that was a great interception by Simmons. But they, you know, at least should have had 3 points out of that drive. And, you know, they had 4th down. They didn't go for it once. They did go for it another time. But they had all that time where they had the opportunities, but they didn't get any points out of them, and that's going to come back to hurt them.
As you said, that was a heck of a play by Simmons. That interception in the end zone. 2nd and long. Henderson to the Bear 45. It'll bring up 3rd and long.
You know, it's always interesting what Mike Holmgren calls. You see that he has a sheet there, and he scripts the first 15 plays. And then usually in every game he has scored a touchdown. We see it right here within their first 15 plays. So he always has a surprise or something different or a big play in there or something that gets him a touchdown in the first 15.
Dorsey Levens is the lone back, 4 wide receivers. Bears blitzing. Favre fires in a hurry. Flag on the play. Desmond Howard was the intended receiver. Johnny Greer, the referee.
Ball start. 72. Offense. Still 3rd down.
Earl Dotson.
Yeah, remember Earl Dotson, the last time the ball was snapped in, he didn't move. This time he does just the opposite of that. He's going to move a little prematurely. You see what happens in pass protection? He has to get back. He has to get in this position. So sometimes they just start to rock to get in that position a little early.
And that's all he did, just rock.
And when you weigh 315 pounds, your rock looks a lot more than it would if you weren't 315 pounds.
The big rocker. Desmond Howard was Favre's intended receiver. The Bears blitzed Brett Favre again.
And I'll tell you, James Burton is right there. Watch number 35, Burton. He's looking, he's back off. There was a cushion there, but by the time the ball got there, the cushion wasn't there anymore because James Burton closed down that area.
6 seconds left to play in the first quarter. No score. Craig Hentrick back to punt. Ingram standing back at the 10 for the Bears. High kick. Ingram signals fair catch, makes it at the 16. So that's the end of the first quarter with the score. Bears nothing, Packers nothing. The Bears nothing, the Green Bay Packers nothing. This is the first time Green Bay has not scored in the first quarter this season. Don't forget Wednesday on Fox, the Cardinals Braves, the National League Championship Series, Game 1. 8 o'clock, 5 Pacific, here on Fox.
How about Tony La Russa coming over from the American League and kind of showing that National League how to do it, huh? You know, for all those years, he was out there in Oakland.
They say a manager in baseball doesn't make any difference, but he does.
I think he makes a big difference. I think Tony La Russa, if you take all the coaches of any sport and put them together, he's one of the best.
Salam chased and caught back inside the 5 and about the 3-yard line. Doug Evans led the chasers.
I mean, that's the thing. If you're going to take a loss, but don't go backwards. You see right here, he probably, when he didn't have anything to do, Salam there, he probably should have just cut that thing up inside. It's a pitch, and they had good containment to the outside. He couldn't get to the outside, so then you just kind of duck it in anywhere you can if you can't get outside. And Salam kind of did a little extra thing and took this big loss.
Second and 24. They go on a quick count. Salam again, this time straight ahead, and gets a couple. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to our Fox Television Center. James Brown.
Bears have 3rd and 21 from the 6.
James didn't want the ball. At the 6. 3rd down. And 21. Bears 0 for 3 on 3rd down.
And they have to watch out here.
Yep. Craig back into the end zone, going deep. Incomplete. With a lot of contact going on. Curtis Conway and Craig Newsome. A lot of pushing by both guys.
Yeah, I don't think that the official knew who to call it on. You see, Newsome is pushing there first. In fact, if I were going to call it, what I saw there in the picture, I would have probably called it on Craig Newsome.
Well, Conway had pushed him earlier.
He had pushed him earlier, but there at the end, it was Newsome.
Yep.
And we know that after 5 yards, the defensive guy can't touch him, and he did.
Sauerbrun's kick is a dandy. Desmond Howard retreats. This guy's dangerous. Gets back to about the 47-yard line. John Jackson down to make the stop of Desmond Howard. The Packers will take over. 56-yard punt. No score. Back at Soldier Field. That's not Soldier Field. Now we're back. The Packers have it 1st and 10 at their own 47. Brett Favre back to throw. Gets away from the blitz, wheels it outside to Edgar Bennett. He's always been a good receiver. He gets close to 1st down. Deary made the stop.
Yeah, we talked about Mike Holmgren and how he scripts the first 15 plays, and every other game this year they had at least scored 1 touchdown in their first 15 plays. And you can see that was the 15th play there. He called 9 runs, which he always has to kind of force himself to do. 6 runs, 9 passes, and hasn't gotten to score yet.
2nd and 1. Pitches back to Bennett. Got the 1st down, no more.
You know, there's a guy, when you see Donnell Wolford getting up there, you talk about cornerbacks, and the cornerbacks are the cover guys that always cover the wide receivers and the speed guys, and you always think of a cornerback how well he covers, but you don't think of how well he tackles and plays the run. And Donnell Wolford may be the best corner in football against the run, playing the run. This guy is an excellent force guy and an excellent tackler.
What else can you ask for from a cornerback?
They'd be able to cover some guys like 4-2.
Yeah.
Or Jerry Rice or Michael Irvin or those guys.
Cox showed blitz. Robert Brooks, quick release and fire from Favre.
And they'd do a job of picking up Cox on the inside so that he could do this. You're going to watch Robert Brooks. He's just looking outside there, and he's just going to run a stop. And once he sees that corner off, they just throw it off. But watch the job that they do on Cox. He's going to come up, and boom, they stop him right there in the line of scrimmage. Watch, here comes Cox. What? Boom, right there. Aaron Taylor just went and just picked him off.
2 tight ends set up. Here's Favre outside. That's Brooks again. 1st down, Green Bay. Burton chased him out of bounds.
Yeah, this West Coast offense, or this Mike Holmgren offense, is a flanker offense, and the flanker is always the outside guy, and that's the guy that they can move around. That time Robert Brooks was in the slot because the flanker is the guy that can put in the slot. He can put him right side, they can put him left side, they can put him in the slot, put him in motion. Before Brooks, of course, it was Sterling Sharp, and this is what you call a flanker pass offense.
1st and 10. Just inside the Bears 30. No score. That's Bennett. Bennett to about the 23-yard line, maybe more than that. Carrier made the stop.
You know, Brett Favre hasn't thrown to a tight end yet. He has Mark Chmura, of course, and then Keith Jackson. Mark Chmura being a Pro Bowl player last year. Keith Jackson over the years being a Pro Bowl player. The two of them alternate every other series. And then, of course, then when they go two tight ends, they're both in there. But this is today is kind of a wide receiver back type of game, and the tight ends are yet to get involved.
Jackson is the tight end lined up on the left. Favre gives again to Bennett. And that should be enough for first.
And that's one of the things. 2 weeks ago, Keith Jackson didn't catch a pass. Last week, he only caught one pass, but that pass was for a touchdown. And so he's been kind of down a little. You know, he wants to get more involved in this. He wants to catch more passes. He wants to score more touchdowns. He knows that he's going to alternate. He doesn't mind that. But when he's in there, he would like to see the ball a little more than he is.
He's lined up on the right side of the offensive line this time. Packers inside the Bear 20. Favre back to throw it. Brooks, touchdown for Favre. On the move or in the pocket. Brett Favre is something else.
That's what Brett Favre could do. Once you're not a sitting duck back there as a quarterback, once you can move around like that, then you can buy time. Watch Brett Favre. When he's going to get back here, he starts to buy time. That allows Robert Brooks to get all the way into the end zone and run across the end zone. See, he's looking for Keith Jackson there. Here's Brooks way back here. He sees him. He can let him run, and then lead him to the other side. Brooks went down into the end zone and all the way across the end zone.
The extra point is good by Jackie, and the Packers lead 7-0. Soldier Field in Chicago. Craig Hendrick set to kick it off. Bobby Ingram back deep for the Bears. Pat Summerall with John Madden at Soldier Field, Chicago. The Packers leading 7-0. It will be Ingram, a yard deep in the end zone. Flag on the play. Ingram out of bounds about the 25, but a penalty marker down. Tyrone Williams knocked him out of bounds.
That's going to be one of those against the Bears, too.
Tackled by Mullen and done in.
Let's watch that touchdown again. Now, here's the quarterback on this side. Here's Robert Brooks on that side. So you can see the quarterback and the wide receiver at the same time. You see now, right now, when he's ready to throw, you see where Brooks is. That's a post pattern. And now, when Brett Favre starts to scramble, you see what Brooks can do on the left side there? He can keep that post pattern, turn it into a cross pattern. And again, by Brett Favre taking that running and movement, then he could give Brooks time to change his pattern, run a different pattern, and that turned into a touchdown.
A penalty against the Bears, illegal block in the back during the run back. And so it's 1st and 10 Bears at their own 9. To the 10, perhaps. And again, let's try James Brown for McDonald's Game Break in our Fox Television Center.
And I do want the ball, Pat, as does Chris Carter here. 7th play inside the red zone. Finally, Moon connects with Chris Carter, who is now 1 touchdown shy, a reception of 70. Minnesota on top, 7-0. Back to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
Same score at Soldier Field, 7-0. Green Bay leading. Ball on the ground. Whistles and signals, but nothing yet.
You know, one thing we don't want to bring up, but Dave Craig, you know, is the leading fumbler, and darn near the leading fumbler of all time, or is the leading fumbler of all time, and that's one of those things that, you know, that he hates to talk about. Admit, they say that he has small hands and he has all these, but he played for 17 years.
Yeah.
And he's fumbled the ball 146 times.
You don't want to bring it up.
No. And he went to a college, Milton College, that not only doesn't play football anymore, but there's not even a college there anymore.
Don't want to bring that up either.
No.
7-0. Packers over the Bears. Our action, who was the Packers' 15th round pick in the 1974 draft? Now, who would know that?
Someone that is a fan of one of these teams, because I think the guy is here today.
You think he is?
Yeah, I think so. That's just adding a little, stuff to the trivia, a little help.
That's what they call a clue.
That's adding another clue. That's what I was trying to think of.
Third down and long for the Bears. Pass is caught by Ingram. I beg your pardon, by Conway. And that is enough for a Bear first down.
That was a heck of a pass by Dave Craig. Reggie White was coming up the middle. He came on a stunt. He was coming up the middle, and he had to throw that ball out there to Conway.
Look at the all-time rankings for Dave Craig. He's been sacked a lot of times. In fact, he was talking about that yesterday, saying that's one of the reasons he came to the Bears, because they had such a good offensive line and didn't allow a lot of sacks. Michael Timpson makes the catch from Craig and gets the first down for the Bears as they get out from right underneath their own goalpost.
Well, you're going to see Timpson here. He has a little cushion, and then he makes up for that cushion. But once the quarterback, Doug Evans, looks into the backfield, Timpson makes an out move, and he doesn't even see it. But here's where it all starts, with this group right here in the pass protection. This group is doing a good job of pass protection to give Craig enough time to throw that ball out there. Plus, he moved around a little, too.
Two tight ends set up for the Bears this time. Whit Knight was the man in motion. Craig had a good strike to Bobby Ingram this time. That's a good throw. Another good throw by Dave Craig.
Yeah, and good mixture. The Bears are having good mixture here. What they did is they took, you're going to see the action come this side. They had the play action going away, and then a slant away from the play action. That was pretty good coverage by Doug Evans. He was there, but that was a perfect pass by Dave Craig.
Two tight ends again. First down, Bears. Craig says, no, I don't like what I'm seeing. And he calls a timeout, so the Bears have one left in the first half. Wanstead not very happy about the situation. Back at Soldier Field, 7-0. The Packers lead the Bears, but the Bears on the move. They started way back at their own 9-yard line. Now it's close to midfield. First and 10, 3 straight completions by Dave Craig.
Yeah, and he's thrown 5 times, completed 5 to his outside receiver, 1 time to his running back. Hasn't thrown to a tight end yet. So this has been kind of a wide receiver game for Dave Craig and the Bears.
Craig to throw again. Pass is batted down. George Kuntz tried to make a play on it.
Yeah, that's one of the things we talked about, things that have helped this Green Bay Packer defense. One is Santana Dotson coming in here. The other thing is being able to take George Kuntz from the outside and move him to the inside as a middle linebacker, and that's given them more speed. And the reason that they moved him inside is because of number 51, Brian Williams, who just knocked down the ball. So because Williams took Kuntz's place, and Kuntz could go into the middle, and that gives him more speed at that linebacker position.
Williams just made the play. This is Salah. 2 or 3. Right at midfield. Maybe he crossed into Packer territory.
Yeah, one thing about Dave Craig, he's a fiery guy. I mean, he's a fiery guy. All the Bears will tell you, he's in the huddle. He said he's a lot different from Eric Kramer. He's in there and he's firing guys up and telling them, okay, you got to do this, you got to do this. You block this guy, you get this guy, and I'll get this play off. And he's that kind of guy. And the Bears say that it kind of gives them a little lift too.
Third down. Carter's the deep back. Pass is complete to Curtis Conway. And Curtis will have a first down for the Bears. Another good throw by Craig.
And did you see Craig before that? He was talking about Kuntz and said number 59's up there. And then he just gets the pass protection, just throws this ball out there perfect for a first down. Watch him. He sees Wayne Simmons, it is right there, and he's telling him, okay, Wayne Simmons is there, number 59. You got to get him blocked. Then he takes care of the blocking, and then he just throws the ball out here to Conway for a first down.
Conway was the move man, and this is Salam again.
This is a big thrill for Dave Craig to, play against the Green Bay Packers. In fact, I think he'd like to be playing for the Green Bay Packers.
Close to home.
Yeah, he's from Wisconsin. Went to school there, and when you hear his cadence and his audibles and stuff, he sounds like he's from Wisconsin. If you just listen to him call these plays here and say, where is he from? You know that when you listen to this, he's from Wisconsin. Listen now, listen.
He likes to hunt.
That's Wisconsin.
The pass is incomplete. Intended for Conway. Over the top was Craig Newsom.
You see him get up, then he's saying, like, what happened? He didn't see that. He thought when it left here, it looked pretty good. See, Conway's here on Newsom. He's just running a hook pattern. You try and get him back. And I think what happened is I think the ball just hit Conway's shoulder pads. See, Craig throws it, then he gets knocked backwards and sideways, and he doesn't see it. And when it left his hand, he thought it was a completion.
As you said, it looked good.
He stands up and says, what happened? It looked good when it left here.
13. Craig back to throw. Has time. Incomplete. No flag on the play, and the Bears bench is really, and so is Dave Craig, really upset.
Ooh, I don't know about that one. It looked like they just pushed Michael Timpson down as he was coming across. Timpson is up here, number 83. He's going to run a crossing pattern, and it looks like he gets pushed or shoved right there. Oh, he does. That is pass interference.
Is he within 5 yards?
No. Even if he were within 5 yards, the ball was in the air, and that would still be a penalty. That's a pass interference penalty.
Desmond Howard back deep for Green Bay. They throw a pass. The pass is caught by Bobby Ingram. Todd Sauerbrunn. There's Danny Abramowitz, the special team coach.
And they knew that they had to have some special plays today. Here's Sauerbrunn. He's back here like he's the punter, and he fakes like he's going to punt. Then he just comes up and he throws it. The coverage is pretty good, and he throws a perfect pass.
And what a heck of a catch.
A perfect pass. Yeah, but it was into double coverage, too. Look at him. He has a good fake. I don't know what kind of pass that is. Here's Bobby Ingram. He had a safety behind him, tight man-to-man coverage, and Todd Sauerbrunn got that ball in there.
They did it to Dallas. Now they've done it again. Incomplete. Intended for Ryan Wetnight, who cut to the outside, and Craig threw it down the field.
Todd Sauerbrunn is a different guy this year.
Yeah.
You talked to him last year, and he never adjusted to professional football. He said he was the same way in college. He said he went to college, and his freshman year they expected things of him. He said he couldn't figure it out, and he was a bust. And he said last year he came into the pros, and he said the same thing. He said he couldn't figure it out. He didn't know what the heck was going on, but he said he has it all figured out this year.
He's in the class by himself, but he's got it all figured out. Salam got perhaps a yard.
Yeah, you look at this Bear offensive line, and Dave Craig was telling us yesterday that, again, here's a guy that's played for 17 years with a lot of different teams, and he says this is one of the best offensive lines that he's ever played with, and he said it's the smartest,
the most intelligent
line.
group, yeah.
And that's what you have to be with defenses today, the way they're moving and jumping and blitzing and zone blitzing. You have to be sharp to pick everything up.
The 15th play of this drive. Hicks, the ball carrier, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Not much more.
And these Bear fans are wondering why you ran that play, why you didn't pass a play. because Dave Craig has been throwing the ball pretty well, and Dave Craig has had excellent pass protection, so that wasn't something you had to do because they have this Packer rush pretty much under control.
40-yard field goal attempted by Jaeger, with Sauerbrunn holding, and the Bears are on the board. Green Bay leads the Bears 7-3. We're in the second quarter. 2:12 left. Two minutes and 12 seconds left to play in the first half. 7-3. The Packers lead the Bears. Next Sunday on Fox, the Cardinals and the Cowboys. Bears and the Saints. Vikings play the Buccaneers, the Rams and the Panthers, and the Redskins and the Patriots. And then Philadelphia at New York at the Giants. All on Fox next week.
That was kind of a kicker score for the Bears there. Sauerbrunn's pass and Jaeger's field goal got the Bears their first score.
Jaeger kicks it off. Are they up? Henderson, I believe. William Henderson fielded the kickoff and gets it back in good shape for Green Bay.
That was a move. That was a move that the Bears made. Sauerbrunn had been kicking off, and they decided this week they were going to have Jeff Jaeger kick off.
Said that Sauerbrunn had been in a little bit of a slump. The Aflac trivia question again. Who was the Packers' 15th round pick in the 1974 draft? He's here today. John Madden gave you a clue. He's the head coach of the Bears. Dave Wanstead, drafted as a tackle out of the University of Pittsburgh.
And he was with the Packers for 1 year, but he was injured.
Got hurt in training camp.
And that made him become a coach early.
Reverse. Brooks, no place to go. Now he finds some place to go. Carrier took him out of bounds. A lot of running for not much gain. We get the 2-minute warning. It is Green Bay 7. The Bears 3. Back at Soldier Field, 7-3. The Packers have the ball. 1:55 left till halftime. The Bears have occupied the clock for the most part. Donnell Wolford strained calf muscle. He may or may not be back. Minifield has taken his place at the left corner. Favre. He gave him all the tricks, a pump fake.
Yeah, and any time that happens, anytime you lose a cornerback, Donnell Wolford, of course, was a left cornerback, and he goes out, you always try and throw right at the guy that they just put in for him, and that's what Favre was trying to do.
Yep.
He saw that Wolford was out. A guy comes in, and it's not the, you know, if he were the best player, he'd be a starter, so you know he's not the best player, and you know that he's really not into the game like the other guys, so you try and test him and throw on him right away, and that's what they tried to do to Kevin Minifield, but they had good coverage out there in that left side.
Favre gets it back to Antonio Freeman, who gets a Packer first down, and they'll hurry up.
That was that old fake screen left, throw screen right. Brett Favre loves to do those kind of plays too. You know, is where you come and you fake. Just watch him. He's going to come back and he's going to fake this thing to the left. See him, boom. He's going to fake out there. Then he spins. Then he throws the screen out to the right side. Screen pass. The guy catches the ball. Has two linemen out in front of him. It's a first down. I think Brett Favre really enjoys those kind of plays.
I think he enjoys the game.
Yeah, those kind of remind him of being back there in Kill, Mississippi, and Uncle Rube put that play in for him. That, you know, that you have the screen, and Uncle Rube always told him that you can just run the screen anytime you want, but if you really want to get him, fake the screen to one side and then throw the screen to the other side.
Uncle Rube was a good friend of the family.
Right, and Brett Favre's dad was his coach and the whole thing, and they kind of believe in those, you know, fake it one way and go the other way with it.
Dorsey Levens is the deep back. Favre back to throw, has time. Deep for Freeman, incomplete. Just a little too far.
Incomplete. James Burton on the coverage. 2nd and 10 for the Bears. 40.
Coming up, the Dockers Khakis halftime report. JB and Terry scores highlights and a preview
3.
of the National League and American League Championship Series coming up. The Yankees in Baltimore, Atlanta, and St. Louis. Stick around with us for the Dockers Khakis halftime report. 2 tight ends this time. The slant pattern to Freeman gets a Packer first down.
Yeah, I think in this Packer offense, I think they start a receiver and break him in as the X, and then when he really learns it, he becomes the Z.
Freeman again had it and juggled it and knocked it out of bounds.
Like Brooks was the X when Sterling Sharp was a Z, and then Brooks moves over and he's the flanker. Antonio Freeman comes in as the X. Last week when Brooks was injured on the first play, they took Antonio Freeman and he took Brooks's place in this offense, and he had a big day. He scored a couple touchdowns.
I think when you were talking a minute ago, you're talking about the West Coast offense, and Mike Holmgren sort of shudders when he says that.
Yeah, he doesn't like that.
You named it the Holmgren offense. I think that's a good name.
Yeah. One thing they haven't done yet is thrown the ball to a tight end.
Here's Favre back to throw. Up the middle, caught. Antonio Freeman inside the Bear 10. And the Packers call timeout.
You know, and that's what he loves to do, when he can just get back in the pocket. I mean, when Brett Favre could do that and get that kind of time and that lane, and he can just get up there and drill that ball. He said that's the most fun. Watch his eyes here. When he sees that lane, he doesn't have to run. He doesn't have to do anything. He just drills that spiral in there.
He is hot.
That was a good catch by Antonio Freeman. He had to make an adjustment there because that ball is coming full speed. I mean, we talk about velocity, you know, in baseball they got those things and how fast a guy's fastball is. You put one of those guns on Favre and it's pretty good. And then when you have to turn around and catch it on the other side of you, that's a pretty good move.
I guarantee it hurts your hands to play catch with him.
Look at this. I mean, you know, the Packers have 2 great tight ends, and they haven't been thrown a pass today. This has really been a wide receiver game. You see 9 out of 14 for 112 yards to the wide receivers.
I got a feeling you're going to see one to the tight ends right here.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Shimura in motion. Favre buying time. Gets it to Edgar Bennett. And Bennett gets down to about the 1. The Packers have 1 timeout left.
And the key word is Favre buying time. I mean, this guy was the MVP in the league last year, and I think he's the MVP in the league this year. I mean, he does a lot of things with help, and he does a lot of things on his own.
40 seconds left. Second goal from the 2. Favre. Touchdown. Keith Jackson. Favre to Jackson. The Packers get it in for their second. Favre's 18th touchdown pass of the year.
Well, there's the tight end you were talking about. We say they haven't thrown to the tight end, but you just had a feeling once they got down in this area that they were going to throw to a tight end. Here's Keith Jackson. He comes out, and he really got inside of 3 defenders. There was a defender on him, one just a little off him, and one off deeper, and he ran that slant and got inside of 3 Bear defenders.
Jackie's extra point is good, and the Packers add some more. 14-3 they lead.
Watch Brett Favre. He knows who he's going to throw that ball to. We talked about the tight end, and he'd be open down there, and this is a guy he's going to look for. Brett Favre didn't look anyplace else other than for number 88, Keith Jackson. Watch him here. You see how he gets inside? He makes that little move to the outside and gets inside of 3 defenders.
Great touch on that pass.
Yeah, and he knew, Brett Favre knew what he was going to do with it. In fact, he probably told Keith Jackson, or maybe Keith Jackson said, hey, Brett, it's about time one of us tight ends got one down here. You know what I'm talking about?
He knew what he was talking about.
I tell you, Brett Favre did a lot of that. I mean, he had good pass protection. He has good receivers. They catch some good passes, but he did some of that stuff on his own, too.
Those are remarkable numbers you mentioned on Jackson. Well, look at Brett Favre has thrown 2+ touchdowns in every game in 11 straight games. Jackson, 6 of his catches, 6 out of 11, have been touchdown catches. Ingram's going to bring it out of the end zone. Comes out of the wedge, and Ingram's got some room. And out of bounds at about the 44-yard line of the Bears. The kicker, Hendrick, knocked him out of bounds.
This is an exciting play. Watch the wedge. This is a wedge here. You see how they all join and they hold hands. You see them hold hands, and then at one point they got a break, and then Bobby Ingram, he wants to get in behind that wedge, and you got 4 big old guys holding hands. That's where you want to go. You get in behind the big old guys holding the hands, and then if you can just get a blocker to them and get a crease in there, you're going to get the ball up there to the 40-yard line.
I don't know about you, but I never could run holding hands.
No, I couldn't either. I didn't like that because you didn't know if you were going to get hit or a guy's coming. You wanted your hands to help you block.
Right.
Or to get your balance. But I think they just did that. I think you do that in the wedge to kind of hold it together for a while.
The Bears go with 4 wide receivers. Craig back to throw. Pass is intercepted. Doug Evans. Craig was hit just as he let it go, or just before he let it go. And the Packers will take over with 20 seconds left and 1 timeout left.
And this is where the Packers are a better football team this year than they were a year ago. These kinds of things, catching interceptions, you know, getting a pass rush, getting a hit. You see Reggie White coming from the top. That time Williams didn't get him, and Reggie was just taking a swing at Dave Craig as he threw that ball.
I think he hit his arm and took something off the pass.
He was very close. And you see, here's Reggie right here. He's going against James Williams there. He just takes Williams, who weighs about 340 pounds, and he just pushes him right back into Craig. That was a bad throw by Craig. I mean, there was double coverage over there, and it was covered, and you either throw that thing away or throw it to someplace else.
Favre has 3 wide receivers. Out of the pocket. And out of bounds, he threw it away. Antonio Freeman.
You know, if you had to take one stat in football, you know, and there's a lot of statistics in this and this, to me, this is the most important one right here. The takeaways you have, and then when you get to this number right here, plus 15 in turnover ratio, they lead the National Football League in that.
They got 2 today, both interceptions. 1 in the end zone, saved perhaps a Bear touchdown, and that one got him the ball back at midfield. 2nd and 10.
And that's the difference. Fritz Sherman was saying that last year they dropped 18 interceptions.
Far incomplete. Intended for Brooks. 11 seconds left. The Packers still have 1 more timeout. So if they should get a completion and get Jackie in range, they have a timeout left.
Yeah, they do have a timeout, and then the other thing you always have is the half, and the game cannot end on a defensive penalty.
Don't forget, coming up, the Dockers Khakis halftime. 11 seconds left to play. 4 wide receivers for the Packers. 3-man rush by the Bears. Favre throwing deep. Antonio Freeman, touchdown.
And there's a penalty way back here because Alonzo Spellman hit Brett Favre right after he threw the ball. So that penalty's not going to count, but what a throw by Brett Favre. Nothing's over with this guy, is it?
Nothing.
I mean, the play isn't over, the game isn't over, the time isn't over. But Jim, they got the 3 guys that are just running that Hail Mary. Here's Antonio Freeman. He's number 86 there. He's bumbling and stumbling, and the ball's up in there, and Antonio Freeman catches it. Watch this guy. He's running, and he just launches that thing. And you see what happened at the end of that play? Alonzo Spellman launched him.
And there was a flag thrown back there.
Right, and that'll go on the kickoff because, of course, you know, the touchdown is the play. But Alonzo Spellman took a shot there at the end of Brett Favre.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 90, defense. By rule, that penalty will not carry over. We have unsportsmanlike conduct, number 52, on the defense. Again, that penalty will not carry over.
Will not carry over. Why not?
I don't know why it doesn't carry over. I mean, you shouldn't get, just because they throw a touchdown, you shouldn't get a free shot. Here's Spellman. I mean, he just comes up with an elbow and hits Brett Favre right in the head. I mean, you have to penalize him something. You can't take the touchdown away. You can't put it on the extra point. But they always took it and put it on the kickoff. But there is no kickoff.
Jackie missed the extra point. There was another penalty called on Brian Cox. There's a touchdown again as Freeman somehow came out of the pack and made the touchdown. The extra point's no good.
Right, and then the extra point's no good. And then because of those two penalties on the Bears, and since there was no kickoff, there was no place to put the penalty because it's halftime, and it doesn't, what Johnny Greer was saying, the penalty doesn't carry over into the second half, which is right.
That's the end of the first half with the score Green Bay 20, Chicago 3. And James Brown and Terry Bradshaw will be along with the Dockers Khakis halftime report following these messages. This is the interception in the end zone.
That was a heck of a play by Wayne Simmons. He was man-to-man on the tight end.
Here's Favre's first touchdown as he scrambled to his left.
And that's what buying time does. It lets your receiver run another pattern.
The Bears out of punt formation. Wind up not being able to move the ball, settle for a field goal. That's their 3 points. Now Favre goes to work to Jackson.
He looked at him all the way. And then here's that Hail Mary just before the half. 3 receivers right there. Antonio Freeman catches the ball. When things are going right, they're going right all the way.
The only thing wrong was the missed extra point. And it's 20-3. Green Bay at the half.
But Brett Favre is just on one of those rolls that, where he can do anything. And, I mean, he can run back and stay in the pocket and throw the ball. He can run and run out of the pocket and throw the ball. You see here, he's already thrown for 3 touchdowns in the first half. And he's like, no matter what he throws up, it's going to be successful.
So the Packers will kick off as we begin the second half. Craig Hendrick to kick off. Bobby Ingram back deep. Finds the kickoff this time. Ingram takes and fumbles at the 2. Picked up by one of the up people, Mike Falkerson. And he's out just outside the 20. First half statistics. The Bears were able to occupy the clock for the most part, but that's about it. Packers 33 yards running to the Bears 19.
Yeah, you see, I mean, 209 total yards. They had 12 first downs to 7 for the Bears. The Bears had these 2 turnovers. Then these 2 turnovers went to 6 of the Packer points. And then the other thing for the Bears in that first half was really just too much Brett Favre.
He buys the time.
Because it's like you say, if you protect for him, then he can stand back there and zip that ball in there. If you don't protect for him, then he can just go and just buy time, like you say, and hit other plays.
Villario
For the balconies under the stands.
just got hit in the head. I don't mean to minimize it.
Yeah, and he's been playing pretty well. He's a rookie, Chris Villario, and 6'4", 305 pounds. You can see there, and he started today at right guard, and that's one thing that that this Bear offensive line has really played pretty well today. I mean, they've kind of kept that defense of the Packers, that front line, they've kind of kept them pretty much under control. Chris Villarreal is part of that, and he's been playing well on offense, and then he got hurt on this play, which was a special teams play.
Kickoff return.
Look at the arms on that guy. I mean, that's what you can block today. You have to have those hands and those arms and stay square and get them out in front there. And
you got to have everything looking too tight. Fontenot, Williams, Berger has taken his place.
Well, Todd Berger is a regular guard there. I mean, Villarreal had taken his place. Weren't sure if Berger could play today or not.
Salam gets outside the 25, about the 27. The Bears pass distribution, wide receivers that you were talking about.
And of course, here to the wide receivers, they were 7 out of 11, and that includes their punter, Todd Sauerbrun's pass,
which was a good one.
Yeah, and it was into double coverage. I mean, it was tight coverage with a safety in behind it, and he threw it in there for a completion.
Salam again, a flag on the play.
Face mask, 53, defense.
George Kuntz.
Of course, you're going to see Salam come through here, and guys just grab stuff. Kuntz had him underneath. First, his left hand was on his shoulder pad. Then his left hand went to the face mask. Then it went back to the shoulder pad.
Not intentionally. So it's 1st and 10. Here's Craig back to throw. Pass complete to Curtis Conway, right at the Bear 45. Not quite enough for a first down. Craig Newsom.
Yeah, we talked about the speed of that Bear defense and how getting Williams in there at linebacker and being able to move Kuntz to the inside linebacker. I think one area that helped them is, like in this area here, a pass defense, because these guys are able to get more depth. They're more active, getting back, dropping into the passing lanes.
2nd and short. Salam gets the Bear first down.
I'll tell you who's really quick in there is Santana Dotson. We talked about how they've added stuff in there to tackle. If you just watch him on that last play, I mean, he just took up, boom, and he had that penetration.
There's the added speed. Dotson, Williams, Eugene Robinson at the free safety.
Well, by putting Santana Dotson in there, of course, he's in there for Yurkovich, and then Williams went in for Kuntz, and then Kuntz went in for Strickland, so that gave him more speed.
Salah at midfield. Eugene Robinson came up to make the stop.
And there's a guy that they added. We talk about Eugene Robinson, and he's a 12-year veteran, so he's not going to be around for a long time. But that's another area we just said that they did improve their team. And I think if they had any weakness over the years on defense, it's one that they didn't get enough turnovers. But two, it was kind of right up the middle. And they've changed that middle with Dotson and Kuntz and Eugene Robinson.
And added speed at the same time. Here's Craig back to throw. Pass is caught by Timpson. Good throw by Craig. Doug Evans, the defender.
Yeah, we talk about this offensive line, and the thing you have to do is you have to be able to block man-to-man, but then you have to be able to block stunts. And you see how they do that? They were running a twist, and they just came back, and they just got Gilbert Brown. He was going. Todd Berger, who just came into the game, just waited, boom, and he just knocked him off and let Dave Craig throw that ball out there to Timpson.
On first down, Salam. Reggie White made the stop.
And big cat James Williams was right on him. That's been a pretty good matchup today out there. I've been watching that one, Williams and Reggie White, and I think I would say that right now that Williams is winning that. That he's been doing his job. Here's Williams right here. He'll be blocking Reggie White right there. And you see him just take off. I mean, he's a big guy. Reggie White gets him stood up, but Williams stays with him and keeps driving him.
Here's Craig. Throws it away wisely.
Well, you're not going to get too many plays on Reggie White.
No.
And Reggie White knows that, that if you're going to go inside, he'll go inside with you, but you're not going to get outside him. He's a contained guy. And when he feels something come to the outside, watch him now get off this block, off this double team, and work right up the field. This is containment. He knows that he has to get not where Craig is, but where Craig's going. That makes Craig pull up, and then he takes a swipe at his arm.
4 wide receivers, 3 wide receivers. Tony Carter is the deep back. 3rd down long. Craig incomplete. Packers had a blitz going. Curtis Conway, the intended receiver, and Jaeger comes on.
Just got word, Pat, that Chris Valerio has a concussion, and he's out for the game. So Todd Berger, again, who's the regular starter, they didn't know if he could play today, is in Valerio's position, and Valerio, of course, was in Berger's position.
Jaeger's hit from 40, this from 41 is good also. And that makes it 20-6. Green Bay leading the Bears.
Principal Financial Group, for over a century. 2,200 hand tools made in America, guaranteed forever.
Jaeger's kickoff sails to Don Beebe at the 10. Beebe got some room.
He can run.
Beebe's fast. One of the fastest on the team. Don Beebe is going to score for Green Bay. 90 yards.
There are some Packer fans here, Pat. You can hear and cheer for that one. Once Beebe got a step and he came out of that pack, you knew he was going all the way because, like he said, he's one of the 2 fastest guys on this Green Bay Packer team. And when he gets a step, you know that he's going to break it. You watch it. Here you start again. You got the wedge. He starts in towards his wedge. Now when he breaks this thing right here, he runs into his own guy. Now at this point here, when he's beyond these guys, it's a touchdown.
Jaeger's not going to catch him.
No one's going to catch him.
No one. The extra point by Jackie is good. And it's 27 Green Bay. The Chicago Bears 6. 11 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
Let's watch the blocking on a return. These 4 guys are going to form a wedge. Now, they're not the wedge yet, but watch how they all come together. And right at this point, right here, they are now the wedge. And Don Beebe is going to get into that wedge. Get in behind the wedge, boom. You run right into the wedge, then you split the wedge. And as I said, once he got a step on it, he's gone for a touchdown. But that was a wedge right. You can have a wedge middle, wedge left, wedge right. That was a wedge right for a touchdown to that guy.
Don Beebe, 90 yards.
Yeah, he's pretty smart and he's pretty fast. He knows if you're going to get the ball and they say wedge right, get right to your wedge.
Hendrick kicks it off in the direction of Ingram, who fields it at the 2. Somebody hit the wedge and Ingram's got some room and he's down. Boy, there was a collision back there close to Ingram.
Tackled by Doug Evans.
I mean, you talk about a buster.
Yeah, I know where it was busted on. It was busted right there. That's where the wedge is busted. See how they all get together right there? Now here's their wedge. They're the ones that are holding hands. He's trying to get to it, but he gets a hit in here. Right here is a heck of a contact right there. Boom!
Yeah.
That's the contact. And you see what happened is Ingram didn't get out to his wedge.
1st and 10 at their own 34 for the Bears. Craig back to throw it. Dumps it up to Salam. A flag on the play. Salam got about 3 yards after he caught the pass. And Johnny Greer comes in for information on what's wrong against the Bears.
That's not a smile.
Nope.
85.
Nor should it be.
No first down.
Keith Jennings called for the violation.
Yeah, that's that tight end, trying to get off the line on a pass. You have, sometimes you have linemen on you and you have linebackers and you're making moves to get on them, and once in a while you'll grab them to get away from them.
First down, Bears back at their own 24-yard line. Now 2 tight ends. Salam, the lone setback. Outside of Conway. Outside the 30. 27-6, the Packers lead.
Reggie White was talking the other day about, not having any sacks, and it seems like the quarterbacks are just getting rid of the ball so quickly now that that the pass rushers, especially a guy coming from an end position, they don't move Reggie around like they used to, and he has more sacks than anyone in NFL history. But the quarterbacks just go 1, 2, 3 and get rid of that ball before anyone can get there.
Even if nobody blocked them, they wouldn't make it. Salam, the ball carrier again.
Yeah, that's the thing, is they're going to get rid of the ball. I think that's the way offensive coordinators, quarterback coaches are teaching now, is we can't pick everything up, but just get back there and just get rid of it. And it's really frustrating to pass rushers. 3rd and 8. Like I said, they used to move Reggie around a lot. Remember, they'd move him left end, left tackle, right tackle. And now with Santana Dotson in there, they don't have to do that anymore. I mean, they don't, because he's a good pass rusher inside. Here's Santana Dotson right now. They're just playing a 3-man line, or a form of a prevent.
3rd and 8. Reggie just caved things in. Bobby Ingram was the intended receiver, and it's incomplete, and the Bears will have to punt.
Reggie can do that to you. If you ever stand up, if you ever get your shoulders up straight and you get out of knee bend, he'll just run right over you. Again, it's only a 3-man line, but watch him. He has so much power. All he has to do is get underneath your shoulder pads. You see that? He got his right hand on Williams's left shoulder and just lifted him right up.
If he gets underneath your pads, you're going to be taller than you thought you were.
And you're going to be going backwards.
Yes. Sauerbrun's kick goes to Desmond Howard. Desmond Howard tripped up. Then the Packers will take over at their own 27. 48-yard punt, 12-yard return. Green Bay 27, the Bears 6. Each week, DeGree will honor the league's hottest rookie. Favre in the pocket, chased out, chased by Cox, and finally pushed out of bounds after he picked up a couple.
Let's watch Desmond Howard's return. Now, here's what you have here. These are the gunners. These are the 2 guys that can go down when the ball is snapped. Everyone else has to wait until the ball's kicked. So what you want to do is hold those guys up. Now, if you get those guys held up, you have them double teamed on the right, and it ends up in a double team on the left. Now, if they don't get down there, then you get a guy like Desmond Howard. He is always going to pick up. And as he says, if he can get those gunners not down there on him, he can always pick up 10 yards.
2nd and 9. William Henderson made the stop. Right now from McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Pat, as we mentioned during the pregame show, 2 touchdown passes today for Chris Carter will give him 70 for his career. That was the 2nd of the day. Big day for Carter indeed. Minnesota up 14-0. And Pat, sorry I wasn't here for the handoff at first, but I didn't know it was coming.
Might come at any time.
I saw JB in the pregame. I was watching JB, and I see Terry Bradshaw go boom and throw a pass, and I see JB catch it. So he does catch him if he's in position to. If he's not in position to, sometimes they hit him in the ear.
If you're not ready,
you gotta stay alert.
Look to set up a screen to his left. Now he's going to take off with it.
Oh, Uncle Rube would love that one.
Oh boy. Pump fake. Take off with it, fake them downfield.
That's what Uncle Rube always said, as many of those things as you can do. As many of those pumps and fakes, then enjoy the game. I mean, play it. It's a game. He looks like he's tired there. He was looking for a break here. But this guy has fun playing. I mean, this is the way the game should be played. Look, you fake, you pump to the left, you pump to the right, you pump to the left, you say, well, that one didn't work. Then you pump again, and then after that was 3 pumps. And after your 3rd pump, if nothing happens, then your 4th alternative is get out of bounds.
You better.
Now you're talking.
3 pumps are enough.
3 pumps and go. That's it.
First and 10. He got enough. Hand off to Bennett. Alonzo Spellman knocked him down.
Yeah, if you look at Brett Favre, you look here, when he was in the pocket, in other words, just straight back, he threw 9 passes, completed 3, no touchdowns. But look what he did here when he was out of the pocket. 10 for 15 for 129 yards and 3 touchdowns. So all his touchdowns came, all 3 touchdowns came when he was forced out of the pocket, scrambling, throwing on the run.
He has 19 for the year. Antonio Freeman gets into Bear territory. Minifield made the stop. A Packer first down.
But Brett Favre does have it all. I mean, you know, there are some quarterbacks that used to love to run and scramble, and that was the only way that they could throw the ball. But if you have protection, I mean, Brett Favre can drop back like he did then and throw a perfect spiral. If he has time, I mean, he can put a lot of mustard on it, and if he doesn't, he can run and be as dangerous or more dangerous as if he were to stay in the pocket. That makes sense.
It does.
Yeah. He'd be tough to play against. If I were coaching, I'd want him on my side.
Yes, sir.
If I was picking, he'd be number 1.
That's Edgar Bennett. Tripped up across the across the Bear 45-yard line by Brian Cox.
You know, the guy that he threw a lot last week, Brett Favre did, to Antonio Freeman. And even though Robert Brooks is back today, he's still throwing to Freeman. 8 of his last 12 passes have gone to Freeman. And so he's, you know, that's pretty good. I mean, one time they were very one-dimensional. Remember when Sterling Sharp was there? They just tried to get the ball to Sharp all the time, and then maybe Brooks. But now with Antonio Freeman coming along, that's given them another dimension. They darn near forgot the tight ends.
Here's Favre. Keith Jackson. He just remembered the tight end.
Every time you say that, they're going to throw it to a tight end. Remember this one from last week? We talked, you know, running out of the pocket and
talk about having fun.
Yeah, and throwing to Antonio Freeman. That was it. Remember that one?
Yeah.
I asked him where that one came from. He said that came from his dad. He said he called his dad after the game, and his dad coached him in the option, you know, and making those pitches. And he said, finally, your coaching paid off, Dad.
Like he's changing the play at the line of scrimmage now. Just got it over. Going deep.
Holy moly, that
Antonio Freeman. That's hard to stop.
I know. I mean, they're talking about being in zones, and I don't know exactly what that means, but whatever that means, I think these guys are in. I think this guy throwing and this guy catching are in what we call a zone. I mean, he just throws anything that he throws up to Antonio Freeman. Antonio Freeman is going to catch. That was a great catch. Watch him. He goes right over Kevin Minifield. Minifield thinks that he has an interception, and Antonio Freeman goes right over him and catches the ball. That's one of the best catches I've ever seen.
I'll tell you what, when they were on the ground, Minifield's still trying to knock it out of there. Extra point is good by Jackie. And the Packers increase their lead to 34-6.
I think that was one of the all-time great catches.
Unbelievable. Some touchdown pass from Favre to Freeman.
That's Freeman's 7th catch of the day. 2 touchdowns, 146 yards. That's a career high.
Ingram will bring it out of the end zone again. Out to about the 26.
You know, watch this, and you'll see here on the right, you're going to see Brett Favre. Here's Antonio Freeman. But if you watch the right, you'll see Brett Favre right here when he pumps. You see that pump fake? That brought the defender up and to the outside. And then he bought a little time with that. Then he could roll to the outside, and he threw this pass, and Antonio Freeman makes one of the greatest catches I've ever seen anywhere.
They talk about concentration. They talk about athletic ability. I don't know what you describe that one as. That was tremendous.
Yeah, and you talk about a pump fake being effective. Brett Favre has been doing that all day.
Craig outside to Carter. About 4 yards. There's Antonio Freeman. Caught the Hail Mary just before halftime and then made that spectacular catch a moment ago.
I'm surprised he's even sitting down. I think if I ever caught one like that, I'd just stay standing up all the time. I think this is worth looking at again. Look at this. I mean, the dive, the concentration over a guy, holding on to the ball in the end zone. I mean, all those things you have going.
A mid-air adjustment. Craig. Pass complete. Short of a first down by about a yard to Curtis Conway.
You know, you come to these rivalry games and the Bears and the Packers and you expect the crowd's really going to be in it. But then when you get ahead 34-6, it's tough for the crowd. I mean, these Bear fans, what can they do? I mean, you know, if they start cheering, they're cheering for the Packers. So you want your team to do something, but you darn near have to be quiet.
Cheeseheads don't have to be quiet. Craig with a quarterback sneak.
Well, there aren't as many cheeseheads here. You know, there was a lot of cheeseheads last week in Seattle because they could buy tickets up there, but here they're sold out. So there's a few cheeseheads, but there's not a lot of Packer fans here today.
And the Bears, 30.
I think we're showing every one of them just to show me that there's Packer fans here. But you can't see it. You know, I mean, I look across this big stadium and I don't see like a sea of green or yellow.
First down for the Bears. Dave Craig, the quarterback. Conway in motion. Craig back to throw. Packers blitz. Pass is caught by Timpson. And that'll be enough for another Bear first down.
You know, the Bears had a mini camp, and Dave Wannstedt figured that, you know, that he needed a veteran backup quarterback, and he couldn't. You know, Steve Stenstrom could be a backup, but he wasn't ready to be the second quarterback in case anything happened to Eric Kramer. So after a mini camp, just before camp, he went out and got Dave Craig.
Salam. Stopped by Brian Williams. Gained a yard and a half, maybe. A minute 40 left to play. Third quarter, and the Packers in command of this thing, 34-6.
And this is when football's fun. You know, if you're a player or a coach and you're ahead 34-6,
and you're a Packer.
Yeah, and you're a Packer, well, and it's going like this for you. It's fun then. This is fun. This is fun to coach. Mike Holmgren's wearing glasses now, and he has a tinted variety today.
Good day for it. Unseasonably warm in Chicago. Got it out to Tony Carter, but the Packers had it covered well.
You know, he's talking about Mike Holmgren and those glasses. You know, he didn't wear glasses for years, and he said he was too vain, but he couldn't see. He calls the plays off that chart that he has in front of him.
His arms weren't long enough.
Yeah, and so then he was showing us in his case. He was showing, but you see, that's little writing too on that thing down there. So he was showing us like he has, you know, plain glasses, bifocal glasses. Then he has these kind that they get darker as the sun goes out. They're kind of, you know, light, but as the sun shines on them, they get darker.
Four wide receiver setup. And Conway makes the catch. And that will be enough for another Bear first down. Eugene Robinson brought him down.
You know, Dave Craig is really kind of doing his part.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and Conway is getting open, and you know, and they've had some time. I mean, the offensive line of the Bears, it really isn't playing poorly. Dave Craig isn't, but it's just too much.
Barb is oops on Fox.
I think what she did, the first thing she says, Favre's a fox, and then she's, oops, I can't do that. So she threw out the A and put an on. So Favre is on Fox.
He is
That's what
right now.
I would say.
He is right now.
And he's hot on Fox.
Yes, he is. Here's Dave Craig. Looking deep, incomplete for Conway. Speaking of oops, tonight on Fox starting at 7 Eastern, be sure to tune into the hilarious game show Big Deal. Then some of the world's funniest outtakes on Oops. Then at 9 p.m. Eastern, live from Hartford, Connecticut, it's Fox News coverage of the first presidential debate. All tonight on Fox. On the West Coast, the debate will be live at 6 Pacific time.
Yeah, oops reminds me, every receiver that has bad hands in the league, they nickname him Oops.
Yeah. Craig threw it into the pack, and a member of the pack made the interception. George Coons came up with it. And that, again, as Fritz Sermon was saying yesterday, these were the ones we dropped last year. But that was last year.
Coons right there in the middle, and he's just reading Craig, and Craig just threw it right to him.
Yep. So the Packers take over. Fox, the home of the Bears, and also our home. Soldier Field with Brett Favre and the Packers leading the Chicago Bears 34-6.
I think right now, once you get into the fourth quarter and you have a lead like 34-6, as you look at Mike Holmgren, at some point here you start thinking of getting Brett Favre out of the game.
Dorsey Levens is the deep back. That's Levens, the ball carrier. Surge is up for about 3.
I think we're going to see Jim McMahon here sometime in this fourth quarter come in and play against his old teammates. He still lives here in Chicago, and in fact he had a bunch of the players over at his house last night.
Lives up close to where the Bears train.
Yep, and he's quite something. Remember that 85 Bear team when they had that great defense, and Jim McMahon and Walter Payton, and
never forget
coming here to Soldier Field and doing Bears games. I think that was the greatest year in the NFL that I can remember.
Brooks dives to pick up the first down, and I think he does. Sandstrom starting to warm up for the Bears.
And they'll probably, again, at 34-6, I mean, all you're going to do is play the rest of the game out. Steve Stenstrom's second year. He's out of Stanford. And like I said, Dave Wannstedt didn't feel that he was a legitimate backup quarterback yet. And Eric Kramer, of course, was a starter, and that was the reason that he went out and got Dave Craig.
Carr gives it to Edgar Bennett this time, and Bennett gets across the midfield stripe. Kevin Minifield for another McDonald's game break. Let's again return to the Fox Television Center and James Brown.
Pat, as you know, Tim Biakapatuk is out injured, so guess what? Former Notre Dame running back Anthony Johnson comes in, scores the first rushing touchdown of the season for the Panthers. They have narrowed it to 14-9 with Minnesota. Back to Chicago. Pat Summerall and John Madden.
Not narrow here. It's 34-6. Packer ball.
Detroit 28, Atlanta 7.
Second and 7. Injured Bear. That's Minifield, who replaced the injured Donnell Wolford.
Yeah, and they already had Walt Harris. Remember their #1 draft choice, Walt Harris. He was a starting corner. He was out of today's game. Then their other corner, Donnell Wolford, goes out, and now Kevin Minifield is injured.
34-6, Green Bay.
Hi.
34-6. Packers over the Bears. 4 wide receivers for Green Bay this time. Second down. Favre throws outside. Beebe got close to first down yardage. James Burton came up to make the stop. There's Minifield over on the sideline. He took a blow to the head off Edgar Bennett's knee.
Yeah, you watch Edgar Bennett here, and Minifield's helmet is going to hit him on the right knee. Got kneed right in the face, and bent his head back, and he was on the field for some time, and then they finally got him up, and he's sitting on the bench and talking to the doctor now. Like they just said that what he has is a concussion and will not return.
Knee to the head. Favre still the Green Bay quarterback. gets to close to the 40-yard line, picked up 2 or 3. Marcus Keys made the stop.
He's done a pretty good job too today. As remember, they started John Michaels at left tackle, the rookie #1 draft choice for the Packers, and he was injured, and then Gary Brown had to come in. And he's been doing a good job over there at left tackle. He's playing mostly against Alonzo Spellman, and for the most part, this Bear defensive line has kind of been quiet. Or if they ever did get active, Brett Favre would just run away from them
and throw it, and somebody would catch it.
Somebody like Antonio Freeman. Here's a different audio where you just clap your hands for an audible.
Just got it off. Favre pumped it and lost it. And lucky for him, he got it back.
Yeah, that's one of the things about pump faking. You do have to have strong hands, because when you pump it, it has to stay in your hand. And it looked like then that he kind of went to pump, and he just pumped it so hard that he just pumped it right out of his hand. Watch it. He comes there and he just pumps it, and it just goes right out of his hand. I think that was more than a pump. I think he was starting to throw, and he saw coverage out there in that right side, and he brought it back in the middle of a throw rather than being a pump.
18 out of 27, 246 yards, 4 touchdowns, the 1 interception.
But that's pretty good control too, to be able to
stop it,
to start your throw and then just stop it right at the beginning and just put it into the ground.
Timeout for Green Bay. They have 2 left.
Who like new.
Back at Soldier Field, Pat Summerall, John Madden, 34-6, the Packers lead. There's Minifield. Remember, he took that knee to the head from Edgar Bennett. Has a concussion, won't be back. Ice on the back of his neck.
That other picture there on the Green Bay sideline, that was John Michaels, who talked about the #1 draft choice, who injured his knee early in the game.
3rd down and about 8. Favre, the Green Bay quarterback. They're showing blitz. Packers pick it up. Brooks. Flag on the play. The Bears grabbed him.
Yeah, Marty Carter was over there. He wasn't going to let him get behind him. That's one way to do it. You see what they did is they put Walt Harris, number 27, in now. He has a turf toe, so he's going to run by him, and Carter comes back, and it looks like Carter just grabbed him as he went by him.
2 flags came flying out, and the Packers moved the sticks. 29-yard penalty, and it's 1st and 10 just outside the 10.
Yeah, I was saying that at some point here the Packers are going to take Brett Favre out, but they may not go to Jim McMahon. They just might jump to Doug Peterson, their 3rd quarterback, which wouldn't be a bad idea.
That's Bennett behind the line of scrimmage, lost a yard. Carl Simpson, the first Bear there. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League, is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Chicago Bears and the National Football League is prohibited. 2nd and 11. 2 opportunities in the red zone today, 2 touchdowns.
Cross country, he said. He said cross country, and then his left guard, Aaron Taylor, moved. Did you hear him say cross country?
That had to come from Uncle Rube.
73 offense.
Yeah, he yells out cross country, and Aaron Taylor got so excited about running old cross country. Yeah. You get down in the red zone, you run old cross country. That excites a guard from Notre Dame out of De La Salle High School in California. He's a neighbor of mine.
Is he?
Yeah, in California. I mean, that's where he went to high school. And then he went from De La Salle High School then to Notre Dame and then to the Green Bay Packers. He's a heck of a player, but he's had both knees, major surgery done to both knees. I wonder if they'll still run cross country here.
That's Dorsey Levens. Down inside the 10 to about the 6. That's not cross country, but it's pretty good.
No, you just run right up country. That's, you know, again, this is when it gets fun. I mean, this is the time that offensive linemen really like this. I mean, you got the defense worn down. You're trying to slow things down so you can kind of amble back to the huddle, kind of amble up to the line of scrimmage. You got your defense whipped, you know. I mean, anything will go, and then it's fun to play. This is when everyone's laughing and giggling and doing all that stuff if you're a Packer.
Third down, about 5. Favre lofts it in the end zone. Touchdown to Keith Jackson. There's a flag on the play.
You know, not only does Favre buy time, but he has great protection, but he sees so well. I mean, Brett Favre sees that whole field. I mean, he looked to the right, he looked to the middle, he looked to the left, and he saw everyone and finally found Keith Jackson all by himself. But here's Keith Jackson right here, number 88. He runs a corner. You get a little pick in there. That's a pick right there. Ooh, that is a
Pass
big
interference.
pick.
86. Offense. Still third down.
Still third down. Yeah, they caught him.
No wonder Keith Jackson was so wide open. Antonio Freeman really did. That was an industrial-sized pick job.
That was a knock him down pick.
Yeah. Sometimes you just kind of do it, and you know, just kind of get in the way and brush him so the guy can get open.
That wasn't very subtle.
No, Antonio Freeman came in and pancaked the guy. He depleted him.
3rd and 16.
But Brett Favre can still see the whole field and all the guys as a point.
3 wide receivers down. The Bears coming. There's a drop play to Levens. Breaks 1 tackle. And knocked out of bounds at about the 16, maybe. And Chris Jackie will come on.
You know, Brett Favre is so much more relaxed. I mean, if you look at it, he weighs 225 pounds. He was telling us last night that, you know, he's on this special protein diet and so on, and he really looks like a different guy. His body fat is 6.8.
He doesn't look like he weighs 225.
No, I know it, but I mean, it's all muscle now. And he said he doesn't lift weights. He just does stuff, you know, against his own resistance. But he said his body, I mean, he's so proud of it. He said last year it was like 16.
Jackie's extra field goal is good from 32 yards away. Not extra point. That makes it 37-6. (37-6) Green Bay over the Bears. It's very quiet on the Bear sideline.
You know, as much fun as it is on the Packer sideline when you're ahead 37-6. The opposite, you know, that down feeling is equal on the Bears sideline when you're getting beaten like this, because they've been beaten in every area. They just don't have enough players.
Hendricks kickoff. Taken at about the 16-yard line. Flag on the play on the return by Mike Fulkerson.
Mike Fulkerson returned the kickoff from the 17-yard line.
A little barbecue in the parking lot. Nothing like it. Nothing can match it.
Yeah, you can't beat this. I mean, you got big old sausages and. I don't like this stuff, though. I wouldn't have that.
You don't like anything with a stick through it?
No. This is a breakfast one.
Yep.
That's too small. I don't know what the heck. What kind of meat's that? They were barbecuing cookies.
No. That was hamburgers.
Put up a fight with a might so fearlessly. Never gives way to the nation.
The kid stayed up all night memorizing that sign.
It's cheese box.
Those guys stayed up all night making that sign. Kids stayed up all night singing a song.
First down, it's Sidstrom, the quarterback. Pass is complete to Curtis Conway, but nothing doing afterward.
Yeah, we talk about you know how much fun it is on the Packer sideline. Like I said, this is no fun. I mean, this is terrible. You know, you work all week and you and you get pumped up, you get your hopes up, you think we'll find a way, there can be a way, and then something like this happens to you, and you just have to sit there and take it.
Pass complete to Tony Carter. Look at some of the injuries, though. In fairness to the Bears, they've once had a definite plan going into the season to utilize these offensive weapons. The only one who played today was Rashaan Salam.
Yeah, that's what he was going to use Eric Kramer, as kind of a play pass guy, and he wanted to play Rashaan and Salam and Raymond Harris together. That's never happened yet. And Robert Green was going to be his third down back, and he hasn't had that group together for one game.
That's Michael Hicks. Right now, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center for a game break.
Pat, the Falcons hadn't had a rushing touchdown all season. They've got 3 today, all 3 by this man, Jamal Anderson. Falcons had trailed 28-0. It is now 28-21 Detroit. 13 minutes left in the game. Back to Pat and John.
6:50 left in this game, and the Packers leading the Bears 37-6.
Remember last week when we did that Atlanta game, they were really high in Jamal Anderson.
Yeah.
They think he's a real deal.
Pass caught by Conway. Didn't know he had it for a moment. Taken down finally by Bernardo Harris.
Hey, Steve Stenstrom throws that ball out there, and you're going to see Newsome. I think he goes for the interception. You see, he has the coverage here. Now he's going to come and dive to the inside. Stenstrom throws the ball over Newsome's head. He was in good position. Newsome was. He was in good position to intercept that thing, and Stenstrom just threw it right over his head.
28-yard pickup and a Bear first down. That's Michael Hicks, the ball carrier. Today's game is being produced by Bob Stinner and directed by Sandy Grossman. Technical producer is Bob Muller. Associate director Rich Russo. Broadcast associates are Mike Roig and Fran Morrison. The studio was produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. 2nd and 6. Bears at the Packer 34. Stenstrom back to throw it. Going deep. Incomplete. Almost picked off by, was intended for Ingram. Almost picked up by the Packers' Eugene Robinson.
Big old Gilbert Brown in there. There's Peterson warming up there. We were saying that maybe they'd put in Jim McMahon, and I think with his score now, 37-6, that they may just go to their third quarterback, Doug Peterson. And I'm sure that's what they're going to do. Now remember, the third quarterback is just an emergency quarterback, and although they could put him in, and then the others still could come back in the fourth quarter, but there'd be no reason to.
Packer defense converges on Michael Hicks.
We were talking about, Pat, how things are going well, and you look at the Bear sideline and they're all dejected and down. You kind of have to take that. Then you look at the Packers sideline, and whenever you see the quarterbacks warming up in sunglasses, that's a pretty good idea that things are kind of going their way that day.
4th down. Stenstrom is the quarterback. Jim McMahon, normally Favre's backup. There's Stenstrom. The blitz gets him. Not necessarily a blitz, just pressure from the front 4. Gabe Wilkins brought him down. McMahon puts on the headband, so maybe Jimmy Mack will play. 37-6, Green Bay. 37-6. The Packers over the Bears. Don't forget Wednesday on Fox, Cardinals and the Braves in the National League Championship Series, Game 1. 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 Pacific.
A lot of other guys are playing with Chipper Jones, or what?
Pardon?
No, there was a picture of Chipper Jones. I thought
He's a good player.
No, I thought maybe he was all that's playing.
No, the other guys.
A lot of other guys.
Travis Jervey, the ball carrier, and Jim McMahon, the quarterback.
They still love him here in Chicago, and when we were away at commercial when he came running in, but he got a big hand from the crowd that's still here, and it looks like right now there's more and more Green Bay Packer fans here, because I think a lot of the Bear fans have left. I would say
you're right.
The stadium is probably 3/4 empty right now. You see a lot of yellow and a lot of blue.
Some of that yellow's empty seats.
A lot of it is empty seats right across from us. Well, the Cheeseheads can brag now.
McMahon gives to Dorsey Levens. He gets about 3.
You know, I think when you look at this Packer team now, I know coming into the season, I felt the 3 best teams in the NFC, and I know you felt the same way in some order, were the Cowboys and the Packers and the 49ers, and I still think that those are the 3 best teams in the NFC. I think they're the 3 best teams in all pro football, but of those 3 right now, this team, the Green Bay Packers, is the best. They're
right
playing
now,
the best.
I don't think there's any question about it right now.
Yeah.
Now, the Cowboys will get better.
Yeah, and I think the 49ers will get better. And I think the Packers are going to get better.
Here's McMahon. His pass is caught by Jeff Thomason for a first down.
Hear that crowd? They love McMahon.
Yep.
McMahon comes in. He's cool. You know, Brett Favre was so cool when he was in there today, and then they take the coolness of Brett Favre out and they put the coolness of Jim McMahon in there.
Sometimes the 3, the coach, Mike Holmgren, and Jim McMahon and Brett Favre get together on the sideline and they say it's something you should hear, because it can be a lot of fun.
He said it's like Curly Moe and Larry.
Yep.
When things are fun, you know, when the score is 37-6, I'm sure they're getting a lot of Curly Moe and Larry now.
This is Travis Jervey.
Jervey pulled down by.
Green Bay has got some challenges remaining on their schedule, obviously. Everybody does. San Francisco on the 14th. Bye. Tampa Bay. Excuse me.
No, I was just going to say, we did the 49er game a week ago. That's all they were talking about was this game against the Green Bay Packers.
Tampa Bay, Detroit, and Kansas City. Their lone loss to Minnesota.
And San Francisco remembers that loss when in the playoffs, when Green Bay come out there and beat them in San Francisco. And of course, Kansas City, as you say, that's a test. That'll be a tough one.
Especially in Kansas City. This is Travis Jervey again. Jervey hammers close to a first down.
And we talked about Don Beebe being the fastest guy. Jervey is the second fastest guy. Beebe and Jervey are the 2 fastest guys on this Green Bay Packer team.
2-minute warning. 37-6. The Packers over the Bears. 2 minutes left. (37-6) Green Bay over the Bears. 2 minutes left.
This is the other thing you do at the end of a game when you're down 37-6. You start to undress. You don't need those shoes.
Untie the shoes.
Yeah, you don't need those shoes tightened anymore.
Brian Cox.
To pull it. The other thing Brian Cox will do is he'll usually put that helmet on backwards.
Yeah. First down, Green Bay. Jervey makes the carry for a couple of yard pickup. Jim McMahon, the quarterback.
You know, we talked about Green Bay and, how they put this team together and what a great job that Mike Holmgren and his staff do. And the guy that really helped put it together that I think deserves a lot of this credit also is Ron Wolf.
Yeah.
Ron Wolf. And I think that's what it takes in pro football today. I think it takes a team. It takes a guy like Ron Wolf that goes out and gets the players, signs them, and a coach like Mike Holmgren. I think it has to be a team that they can say, well, this team's not doing any good. They ought to fire the coach, get a new coach. I think what you have to do when you want to change a team around, I think you have to bring in a team of a general manager and coach. 2 different guys.
Jervey again. And Jervey cuts it upfield just outside the 30. Stopped by James Burton.
I was telling Ron Wolf today before the game, I said, I don't see any way the Bears can beat you. And he was telling me something about I used to have chalk in my shoes or something.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
That's what they call an old coach.
He said something about Chuck Knox having chalk in his shoes.
Yeah, chalk in your shoes. That's an old term for, how can you say that? You used to have chalk in your shoes. See, if you get down there in the sideline, then you get chalk in your shoes.
And that gives you a right to be pessimistic, optimistic?
Well, no, then you're supposed to worry about every game. I mean, that's the point that he was worried. That I had chalk on my shoes, and I knew as a coach I would never say that. So I shouldn't have said that to him.
Probably that's the key.
But what does he know? But he was changing the subject because there was a rumor that he was going to leave Green Bay.